world. Yes, it's me, Graham Moore, otherwise known as Daddy Dragon. Give me a 5v5 if you can see me and see English Lives Matter on the screen. I had a lot of problems logging in earlier, so Wilnut, Tracy Truism, Sue Ellen, good evening, hi Tracy, blah blah blah. Luke, 1956, I keep meaning to try and message you for the A3 pictures and see if you've got digital copies of them that you can send over to me so I can use them in a video. And I might be able to do something to help someone else, which I want to show tonight. Whether he wants my help or not is another matter. Tracy Truism, Sue Ellen, good evening. Bam, Sevens out there. Nelly. Peter, I think that is. Good evening. Don't forget sharing is caring, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. But I'm going to go through a few things. I'm not going to actually start the show till 8 o'clock, so I will take any quick questions of this wonderful audience, because without you, I couldn't do this. Let's see if this comes on the screen. Hello. You missed me then, didn't you? Hey? Because I wasn't on the screen. What do you mean, my little dragon behind me? Look. There you go. DD, the sound is very quiet. Is it? Is that better? Let me have a look. Can you hear me now? The sound is very quiet. I'm on the Rode mic. It should be picking up. Can everyone else hear me properly? Taffy Pat, it might be that you need to turn your sound up on your own system. Holy England, good England, everyone. Very good. So, Linda Frost, Bams, lovely day. Thanks. Hope you're well. The Bill of Rights, 1680. God bless England and God bless England. Tracy Truism, Taffy Pat, one of my favourite patriots out there. The Bill of Rights, Tracy Truism, Holy England. Everyone should be able to see and hear me. I'm going to go through a few things and have a chat about some of the things that Rupert Lowe has been saying today. Let me have a look. The Bill of Rights, DD. Glad to see you fact-checking Andrew Bridgeton on the Henry VIII. Well, the thing is, I like Andrew. You don't know anything about the Constitution, and I've got to be honest with you, MPs are there to protect your constitutional and civil liberties, right? Liberties meaning freedoms and rights. So that worries me. I think he's one of the good guys, though. He's not one of the bad guys. And I have to excuse, even though I don't like doing it, ignorance. But once people have been told and they choose to listen to a barrister who's been indoctrinated to believe something that is untrue. So I'm going to show you in a minute some bits and pieces when it comes to 8 o'clock. And we'll go through a few things. Hopefully you can bring it up on your screen and you'll see what I'm talking about. But there's going to be a whole chapter dedicated in the book with lots of evidence to say that Parliament is not sovereign. And we share in that sovereignty. The people share in that sovereignty. You're not completely sovereign. The only time, really and truthfully, you become the full sovereigns is when you're called before before a court and you are jury members, because you have the right in your own conscience to deliver your own mercy. In other words, you take on the role of the Crown in that instant and in that case alone, where you can find someone not guilty, even if there is eight actus rei and mens rea, but where you believe you would have done the same in the same circumstances. So everything really needs to be explained to people. But there are some positive signs I'm seeing out there. Did anyone see the video? So what I'm going to do, hopefully, is bring this up on your screen. Let's see if I can go and bring it up, then convert it to another screen. Let me have a look and see if I can see it, which is Restore England. And there's an actual video I'm looking for, which I will bring up on the screen as we speak, so it stays in there. People should be able to see it. If it's not coming up, I won't do it. I'm seeing all my old files coming up on my screen at the moment. I am so 14th. There it is. Let's see if this comes up on the screen. Let's pull this over to the other side. Oh, it's not coming up on the screen. Get over. Move. There you go. Nope. No, it's not coming up. That means I can't move it on that screen. See if I can move it on that screen. Can't move it on that screen either. Don't know why it's not doing it. I'll forget that one then. I've done my little dinghy earlier. Where's my dinghy gone? There it is. Not ready. I won't do it, lad, because it'll wake the neighbours up. Oh yay, oh yay, oh yay. You would love to see me, wouldn't you? Being in that in a Restore Britain or a Restore England, Restore Devon meeting. Oh yay, oh yay, oh yay. We have arrived. It is the English taking back their nation and their rights. Let me have a look. Woof woof. What's going on out there? Evening. Right. Let's get on with the show, shall we? So I've received an email today. Well, actually, last week. Was it last week or this week? I can't remember the dates. But there are a number of people in Devon, central Devon, going to this meeting. It reminds me, hopefully they're still watching us. But I need to ring these people up. Kim and Paul, who don't live that far from me. And there's a number of, I've been invited and a number of other people have been invited to a meeting in central Devon for Restore Britain, where they've started to organise. It's took a bit of time for the information to come out, right? But it is coming out, and people are seeing it. So I'll be going along to that in April, so this month. I don't know how many people are going to turn up. It is a nice venue. It could be over 200, 300 people turn up there. And I'll be going along to listen to what's going on. What else am I going to say to you? So there's a lot of people in the central Devon movement, right? And obviously where I live it's about 20 minutes away from where this venue is. And my constituency is central Devon. But I'm pleased that I've started to see the organisation, without naming any names of people, two other people, I think, have started to get some engagement with Restore. Well, one person has had two interviews, I believe, and then a phone call where they asked, "Are you still a member of the English Constitution Party?" And the person said yes. And they asked, "Are you a friend or do you know Graham Moore?" And he said yes. And they made him the location's organizer. That person is already organising, and it is English. But you need these people. You need as many of us stepping forward, right? Even and using your skill sets. You all know what it's like. You all know what the censorship's like. Rupert Lowe was on Baudade's own personal show, right? So if you remember, Reform kicks him out of the party on a recommendation of Hope Not Hate because he came on my show, right? Bo Dade come on my show. So when I see people that are listening, and Rupert Lowe is listening, listen, you're never ever going to get 100% of everything that you want out of a party, and that is not the point. A member of Parliament is there for the sole reason to air your grievances in the House of Parliament, which is for the Commons. You're a commoner, right? And again, I've said that, believe it or not, our Constitution supports direct democracy, but it cannot do that all of the time. The media is as corrupt as it is, because whoever's controlling, well, again, it was Trotsky who said, whoever controls the media controls the mind. Right? That's absolutely what he said. And Trotsky was a full Comanche communist. He got murdered in Mexico, I believe it was. So I want people to understand you're never going to get everything you want out of it. But if a politician or a member of Parliament or a local council speaks of England, stands up for England, seeks to end the destruction of England, seeks to destroy what they have reigned against us, which is, and by the way, I've got to be very careful how to say this, because I talk about regionalisation. That is the proper term for it. The propaganda machine now calls it devolution, right? That is regionalisation. It is a European Union, and again, remember, the European Union promoted two member states. The European Union Constitution, and 3-4 different states completely rejected it. So they changed the name of it, I believe, to the Maastricht Treaty. I may be wrong on the name, but I think it was the Maastricht Treaty. They changed the name of it just to con people, because the actual treaty was exactly the same as the Constitution, right? Barring a few word changes. So you've got to be very, very, very careful with what goes on out there. Don't forget, sharing is caring. The more you share, the more you care. The more you promote the Rumble channel, the more you subscribe to this channel, you're only going to get me speaking about England. Very rarely will I say anything negative, but barring telling you the truth. And this, if the negative is truth, then that's what you're going to get from me, right? So there's a few things I want to talk to you about. So this person, they are fully aware he's a member of the English Constitution Party. They asked him, and they also said to him, you had very, very good feedback, reviews about your interviews and your passion for England. And they've made him a local organiser, right? So what we're doing now is trying to get him as much assistance, and I will be speaking to people about that. I have to have a discussion with him whether or not he wants me to say where he is. At this point, I don't think I should. We've got a number of people in Devon that are going to this meeting on the 26th of April, Restore Britain's, which means Restore England, which means Restore Devon. And I'm going to sort of judge or listen to what's going on. I'm probably not going to make myself too vocal there. But you get an indication who these people are. And I'm hoping they're all positive towards England. What else was there? Now, there's another thing that I wanted to show you. I spoke to someone earlier on today. And again, we've got a number of other people that have gone forward. No, but I need to show you this on the screen. Let me have a look before I do anything else. Not sure what's on there. Let me have a look and see. Let me have a look. As Dale said, play it cool, DD. No, I will. Hopefully I won't go arse a tit with it. Let me have a look. Now, before I go on to the full show, I'm going to show you this. Let's see if I can show you this on the screen. So on your screen, as you're looking, and then I'm going to go through the pictures, I want everyone, this is what I sent out today, so I want as many people as they can to retweet this. So remember in mind, I am travelling across screens as I do this. It might go pear-shaped. And I'm going to put this on there. Are you ready for this? The Crown is not sovereign, nor is either House of Parliament. Still less are the ministers or servants. Still less is the ministers or servants through whom the Crown conducts the executive business of the government. All right, but ... The law and custom of the Constitution, Sir William. Right, so just to make sure you know, it's this old book, 1909. And there are 3 books on this. This one's started to fall apart. I've got to sort it out. But making sure you know that Sir William Anson was one of the top scholars, certainly equal to A.V. Dicey. And Henry VIII's powers were constrained and limited by the English Bill of Rights of 1688. So were all other limbs of sovereignty. Right? The English Bill of Rights did not make Parliament sovereign. That is a lie. Parliament, judiciary, and the Crown, they are trustees of the English Bill of Rights, 1688. We are subjects of the realm of England, right? And we are the beneficiaries. The benefits are our inalienable for all time to come ear rights. The British have rules, the English have rights. This is just part of the legal evidence. What part of this do you not understand? And I've put that out. I've directed it at Restore Britain because I'm still concerned that they are being counselled by the wrong type of people, right? So I've just shown you this book, right? And I want to bring it up on the screen. And that's the book I just picked up and showed you. The Law and Custom of the Constitution. Sir William R. Anson, Bart, D.C.L., and he is a lecturer, or he was a lecturer, I should say, at Oxford University, and a very, very highly respected barrister at law. And this is the paragraph. It was on page 14. And if you read the preface of the book, it's fantastic. The Crown is not sovereign, nor is either House of Parliament. Still less are the ministers or servants through whom the Crown conducts the executive business of the government. But each of these stands in established relations to the others and to the general body of citizens. And of these relations, some are fixed by law, so statutory, and some by custom. For the statute machinery may be said to consist of all who take part in the making or changing of the laws by which rights are created and protected in the maintenance of order and settled rules of conduct within the community, in preserving its independence or representing it in the dealings with other communities. The connection and relations of these persons form the constitution of the country. The analysis of this constitution, which forms the working machinery of the state, the consideration of its various parts, and the relation in which they stand to one another, is what I propose to undertake in respect of our own country. And again, you then, all I'm doing is showing you the actual book and the page where it is. So let's see if I can bring it down. At page 14, Constitutional Law in Jurisdiction. And then it says Constitution of England, right? So at the bottom there, as you can see, is that paragraph. And then it goes on to the next page, which I've shown you all. What I'm trying to do is show you the receipts for it. So I'm not telling you lies. I'm showing you, and all I say to judges is, can you tell me, show me the authority that goes against the English Bill of Rights, because every authority I've seen, bearing in mind it is all and singular to that particular constitutional statute that come from the Convention Parliament, most powerful parliament in England. So it wasn't just an ordinary statute. It wasn't even an ordinary parliament. The two highest forms of governance are laid before you with the English Bill of Rights that come from the Glorious Revolution. And again, people need to understand, when people start to say to me, and there's a couple of YouTubers out there who have said that I talk a load of shit. I'm the only person I know of, a lay person or a paralegal, that's took the British government to court and won an injunction against them in the European Court of Rights. I'm the only paralegal and lay person that have won against King's Counsel with constitutional arguments, not only in the first initial phase of a High Court hearing, which we won, but they then appealed and 3-0. The appeal court judges, second highest judges in the country, agreed with me. And the only way that they could beat us and our arguments was to put two crooked judges and swap out the two original judges and put another couple of judges in, which is exactly what they did, right? So all I'm saying to you is they don't do them things unless they know what the coup is with the person. So I'm going to start by talking about someone else now. So let me share this tab. Now, here is a guy, and again, I want as many people as possible to go and follow him. I'll put the link out. His name is Shay New Iskin, something like that. I'm not very good with names, and it's tiny little writing at the moment, so I'm going to put it up there, put it out in the group, and just say Restore England. Right now, there is another part I'm going to show you. Don't want you to boo him, because there's a story around this guy. He comes from Canning Town, East London. Remember, I showed you the images of us as pearly kings and queens. And when I show you this in full, so I'm going to put this up there. The moral of the story is unity, standing together and never giving up, right? I don't like the fact that he's got a British flag up there. But on the other side of it, what he has got is lots of English flags, right? Some people conflate British with English. Alexander Sellenstein used to tell people that he was Russian, not Soviet, and it was his biggest bugbear that people conflated the two. They are two completely different things, right? But I'm going to play you this, and I want you to support this man. If you're in East London or London and you can give him any assistance whatsoever, then give him that assistance, even if it is retweeting, showing the videos, helping him with delivering leaflets. This is a little council election, but we need him in there. By the way, he is endorsed by Restore Britain, all right? But we need people talking about England.
History of when the Romans come to invade, when the Vikings came to invade, and the moral of the story is unity and standing together and never giving up.
Yes, mate. You come there, boy.
Shane, are there any elements of your personal life that have given you inspiration for the book?
So 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with stage 3B blood cancer. I underwent 6 months of chemotherapy. A year later, the person I was engaged to at the time, she passed away. That led me down a very, very dark road. But again, the moral of the story is I'm here today because I never give up. And I'm here today.
Good, son.
I've got 2 beautiful daughters and a fiance.
Yes.
10 years later, when I thought that I lost everything, I've now gained it back. And I've tried to put that into the story just to let everybody know you don't stop fighting, you never give up, you stand your ground.
Yes, mate.
So you've just heard what he's just said there. He come through quite a bit. He's a nice enough fella, right? I'm not gonna rip into him at all about having a British flag up. Some people conflate the two. That's about education. What we do is go all around the country educating people that there is a difference between English and British. There's a difference between Scottish, but I'm not Scot, and British. There is a difference between Welsh and British, and a massive difference between Northern Ireland, especially if you're a loyalist, and British. You've got two groups of factions, or two factions in Northern Ireland. You've got Unionists, who are no real different to the Republicans. The Republicans are part of the European Union. The Unionists cannot be described as nationalists in any form, right? Nor can anyone else that voluntarily places their people into a union, right? It's prerequisite to globalization, and the only way of reversing globalization is to reverse regionalization and reverse what they've now called it, which is devolution, right? Devolution is regionalisation by another name. The European Union and the people have conned you into believing in a lot of nonsense. Scotland's already lost. They don't have a parliament. They've removed the constabularies, etc. And there's people out there that still want to support this, and in particular people like UNN Networks and David Clues. I don't bother with them anymore. There's no point. We are winning the argument. We are winning the battle against indoctrination, right? So again, I'm going to show you this particular bit, and then we're going to go back and do a bit more on Shane. Rupert Lowe, Restore Britain is calling on the British government to urgently introduce visa restrictions on the 500,000 illegals granted legal status in Spain, right? Because then people are being allowed to come straight into England. They're probably heading towards Benidorm now to dislodge the English that reside there. And just to make sure you're aware of this, a certain person called Paul Thorpe did or does live in a communist nation within the European Union called Spain. And he also said that he wouldn't interfere with their politics, right? I think it's very strange that he chose a communist country. I think it's very strange that Tommy Robinson chose Ireland to be his nation and not England. These men must not step foot on British soil ever. That is what Rupert Lowe MP said. And they are criminals and should be treated as such. And he said that today at 4:30 p.m., April the 14th, 2026. And I can tell everyone I completely agree with that statement, right? So, again, all I'm doing is going through these things and telling you. I did go through that last night. Let me see if there's another one. There is. So I'm going to show you this one that's up on the screen. Restore Tower Hamlets. So again, it's up on your screen at the moment. Restore Britain member Shay Newiskin. Hopefully I've pronounced that correctly. Who I have actually followed. Whether he's following me back is another. Oh, well, look, he is following me. Good man. Is standing as an independent candidate in Canning Town and Plaistow in the local elections this May. Just to give you an indication, I do know people from Canning Town, quite a few of them townies. Billy the Bomb gave my brother a right-hander once and never sat him on his arse. And Billy the Bomb always said, you're one of the only men who's took one of my fucking punches full on and never went down. Right? So we have a saying in our family, and that is never surrender. Right? He is currently urging locals to register to vote and to get behind him on polling day. And by the way, I ain't going to hold it against him about Billy the Bomb. Right? He is one of the only men standing up for his community in the East End. Right? I agree with that. Not being disrespectful to him, because I know he's a bit of his history from the last one. What a hero. I absolutely agree. What I don't like is that British flag, right? But that's just an education thing. He is absolutely on the ball.
This is our opportunity to bring back the East End. We need to stand up, we need to raise our voices, and we need to rise in the streets of London, in the streets of Canning Town, and we need to say no more. No more to these politicians that are sticking all our money into Gaza, into everywhere else that doesn't concern our community. Now, what we have to do is we have to stand up, we need to register on the electoral register, and on May the 7th, we need to come together, we need to get down that polling station, and we need to say no more. This is our country, this is our borough, this is our community. We ain't letting outsiders come in our community, spending all our hard-earned tax-paying money going on things that doesn't concern us. We don't want our women and children in hotels waiting for houses. We don't want them in temporary accommodation. Illegal immigration, we don't want them in our houses. Send them home. We don't want them walking around our streets while the men are at work. Send them home, the whole lot of them. I promise you, if I get voted in, I will stand up, I will raise my voice as loud as I can, and I will say no more. No more to this shit that's going on in our borough. We want our East End back. Now I'm here to tell you, it is time to rise. It is time to say no more. I ain't done all this for no reason. I've put myself on the line and I've took on every bit of backlash so that I can stand for my people, for my community, and tell this borough and tell these politicians no more.
He's very polite. He could have used the word Foxtrot Oscar, but I just want to make sure I say this. He's putting his face up in the East End. There's certain parts of the East End, because of the things I've said in the past, I have to wear a fucking crash helmet and have to be on a motorbike, right? But just to let you know, we're talking about an extremely dangerous place. And if I can grab these photos, don't forget who we are, right? I'm going to go through that at the end.
It ends now. We don't want our hard-earned tax-paying money spent on things like Gaza and spent on things that don't concern us. It ends now. We don't want no more illegal immigration put up in our hotels and put up in our council houses. Why our women and children are stuck in temporary accommodation. Why our women and children are plotted up in hotels. Why these people come here by boat and they get stuck in our council houses. We don't want our money spent on that no more. We don't want our streets looking like a third world country. We don't want it in our communities. The British taxpayer, working class people have had enough. And now it's our time to stand up and say no more. We've got one opportunity to get ourselves out of this. May the 7th. Make sure you stand up now, get yourself on the electoral register and get yourself down to your nearest polling station on May the 7th and vote for me, Shane Wiskin. Why do you need to vote for me? Because I'm the only one of you. I am the only working class, white, British man that is standing up, that ain't a politician, that don't give a fuck about nothing else other than United Kingdom, other than London, other than Canning Town and Plaistow. So if you want change, please, all I ask you, stand up, make a difference with me, get behind me, and I will be your voice. I will stand up and I will tell them no more. This ain't happening in our borough anymore. We have had enough. May the 7th, vote Shane Wiskin, and I will fight for every single one of you. I will fight for our children's future. I will fight to get our hard-earned taxpayers' money put back in our borough to bring the next generation of people into a better future. Come on, you England!
There you go. Vote Shane Wiskin. May the 7th. There you go, right? And I'm just going to pull off this for a second, right? And just say this to you, right? Can you see that? I'll do it enough times. Remember who you are, right? Look at this, right? Just remember who you are, right? Not just the East End, but Londoners, right? We have been displaced. We have been removed. White flight from London. This was all planned, right? Devon in itself, 800,000 total community of the Shire of Devon, one of the most important shires in England, right? How would the people of Devon like it if just 1 million of Londoners moved straight into Devon? It wouldn't be Devon anymore, would it? Right? They are planning to start shipping out these people into Devon, like just as they did to our own communities, right? Remember who you are, right? And I'm even considering opening up a pie and mash shop. And if that don't ring alarm bells for people in Devon, right? You'd love it, though, especially the jelly deals, right? And the stuff that you regard as looking like snot. It is not snot, right? It's liquor. Get in there, right? So I have shown that. I want everyone to try and follow him. He is, like I said, I'm going to click on this button again, and I will share it again with you now. There is his thing. Now, again, I'm not interested. Everyone should have heard me by now. Fuck Israel, fuck Palestine, fuck Iran. I'm only interested in England. I am not saying fuck Scotland, fuck Wales, fuck Northern Ireland, right? But there is a plot against England to destroy us with devolution, otherwise known as regionalisation, right? So there it is. Vote Shane Wiskin, get Labour out. Shane Wiskin. Probably because he put that name up there, right? Shane Wiskin. I'll just give you a big round of applause for that one. Can we have an English flag? Right. Let me see if I can go back into there, right? And we'll do this now. Let me come off of that one. Let me see if I can go into my studio, put a live chat in there. I want to see as many English flags up there. Just tell him, right, talk of England, right? Speak of England. London is the capital of England, right? Look at how many flags there are in the chat, right? Coming up with England, right? By the way, Rumble is the only place that allows you to do that. They actually, on our request, they said, let us put an English flag in there, right? And they went, bomb, there you go. Come and have a look at this. Come and have a look at the channel. Look at how many English flags, right? If you support Shane, Whiskin, put an English flag, absolutely smother it. So if he ever sees anything of this video, right, he will know that he must always speak of England. He's English, right? Not British. You can see a few of the YouTubers are out there, the YouTube audience is out there trying to put an English flag up and it comes up as a black flag, right? Not on Rumble. We've got the English flag. We've got a lot of things on England that we could put out there. So I'm going to take that off for a second just to make sure you all understand what it is. I'm going to take the, go on, keep putting him in there. Go on, give him as much support as possible as the English. Right, look at that, look massive amount of English. Right, so I'm going to come back off that, go back to my private chat. And again, we can see him out there. The love arts are coming out. The English love arts. We've got English love arts with the English flag. All sorts of stuff coming out there. Neil 56 is out there. All that Juicy and Lucy smashing it out there. Shizzle, Juicy and Lucy. Let's go and see him. Look, Will Nuts out there. Kew Gardens. English till I die. Cockney Gill. Look, it's going so fast I can't keep up with the bleeding thing. But there it is anyway. So I'll show him one more time. You need to follow him. And what I'm going to do is put out his X thing out there, right? Go and give him a follow and say to him, we'll support you as much as we can online, right? Let him know that the English are with him. So it's all gone out there. Follow him on X. And try and give him as much support as possible, because moral support is a good thing. Forgive his British flag. He doesn't understand the finer art of English, but that is only because he's never had a proper conversation with me yet. He wouldn't be saying it, right? We get out there, right? So there you go. Do not be my ruin, be my refuge in the day of misfortune. A reminder that sometimes you don't choose the path, it chooses you. Stand in the truth, stay disciplined, and trust that everything is aligning how it should. The message finds you when you need it most. No, I agree, it does. Again, that's one of the reasons why I used to talk of, and I've got it up on my wall over there, and people don't realise it. And it's called, it's a poem called Footprints in the Sand. And when anyone has a particular death in the family or anything like that, I normally send it to them. Cockney Girl, West Ham United. How many watching altogether, Graham? So I can tell him. Well, this will probably go out. This goes out. We don't know the true figures because people who actually watch on TV are not showing, because this is part of an app that goes on televisions. But currently, there is 546 live viewers at the moment. But people will see it all tomorrow. But again, tell him as well that I'm not having a pop at him, but he needs to just keep waving the English flag. Listen, we're the only people out there not represented, right? And everyone else is represented by someone. The wyvern or white dragon needs to be a character. When you say a character, do you mean walks on the stage and starts talking? Because we've already got one of them. Juicy Lucy made Bob, where it blew a love art like that in smoke. Oh, by the way, apart from him behind me, right? Just to let you know, when I was 6 years old, I made this. Right, this is my little dinosaur. Right, I love my dinosaur. Right, I come home from school all proud as a 6-year-old because I made me little dinosaur. And from that day on, I was looking at Tyrannosaurus Rex and other things and thinking, I'm sure we got a flag like that, Mum. He's got a small brain, according to Richard England. Dickie. But there you go. He's back on my shelf where he belongs. Let's have a look. Got that on my fridge. Let me have a look. If you wish to send Graham Daddy personal for all his old works, Daddy Dragon donate. That is the best one to put out. And again, I need to speak to Tracy about the other thing because I need to take that down now and tell him to fuck off. I'll be talking about him on my show, Proper Tanny. That was me earlier on. I'm going to go through a few other things. I'm not going to do a long show tonight, but I am going to say to everyone watching and listening to this, oh, Shane has just sent me a message on Twitter. I've added the flag, you absolute legend. Shane, be lucky, son. Right. And there you go. Right. So Shane is out there and he's watching the show and he's following us. Right. He's added the show. Listen, I don't mind if people really want to put the Union flag there. I detest it. But if you do, put the English one first. If I was to tell you there's a hierarchy of flags, right? The first flag that you should fly and always fly is your Shire flag, right? The first flag you should be flying is of your family, right? In other words, a coat of arms. So the first flag is of your Shire. So where I live now is Devon, right? And your loyalty is to Devon and the people of Devon. Then it drops down to England because Devon is in England. And then the weakest part of that, which in other words should really not be displayed, is the British Union Parliament, right? Because there's people who have shit all over you. It's as simple as that. And we have not got anyone in England talking for us. So I am grateful to Shane for putting that out and giving me that little message on there. And again, I'm gonna repeat a few things. And again, Liam Tufts. I've had a few questions about Liam Tufts put to me. Listen, he said to me, a lot of the things you say go straight over my head. I get that, right? That don't make him a bad guy. Some of his loyalties to different people. I also understand why people are loyal to certain issues or certain people or whatever. But you should always judge people by their deeds and what they're actually doing. And in my opinion, if all these people have done well in the background, and I'm talking about people like Mark Collette, Nick Griffin. Nick Griffin actually fucking blocked me, but not that I give a shit, right? But Nick Griffin and Mark Collette went through two trials. The first one was a mistrial, and the next one they got not guilty. Listen, they was looking at a lump of bird for literally highlighting to people the rapes of England. Where's my little thing gone? The rape of England. So I want everyone to understand that. So Liam Tufts. There's lots of people that are. Did anyone see the video? I was in stitches right last night watching. I was watching Vindicator. I like Vindicator, right? He's another one who makes me laugh, right? You've got to have a laugh and you've got to give people hope. That's what I do, right? I'm not into the negativity, right? And I've even been on a learning process, not just with the law, but with how you communicate with people. It is much easier. Just think about a bird, right? For men out there, you know the code. If you can make them laugh, right? You almost cracked it, right? If they see constant aggression, it's not a good sign, right? So but it's hard doing what we do, and especially when we are majorly censored, and we are majorly censored by the British, right? They do not want the English to be spoken about. They want us destroyed via devolution, otherwise known as regionalisation. So again, there's a few things I want to say about that. So let's get on to the video with Vindicator. So Vindicator's done this live yesterday, and he's got Paul Morris on there, who's a lovely old boy, and he's Welsh, right? But, he plays. I like the music he plays, right? As long as it ain't fucking Tom Jones. And there was another fella. I don't know who the other fella was that was on it, right? A bit larger guy, Cuddly, we would call him. And then on pops Paul Fulp. Oh my God, Paul Fulp's coming on, right? And then he starts giving it fucking. And the other person on it was Dino. Has everyone seen this video? You've got to go and watch this video, right? And then Dino Bain is like giving it to him, right? And then he went, this is the bit that really annoyed me, right? He went, oh, hold up a minute here, hold up a minute. What's this, 3 or 4 against 1? Do you know what I mean? I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Right? Do you know what I mean? I was like, is this geezer really for real, right? 3 or 4 against 1. Right? He's on a fucking YouTube channel, for fuck's sake, right? It's because he can't debate. But if they all talk at the same time, it's no good. I learned that on Russia Today, right? When I used to go on there for 20 minutes every Friday, a lot of people, I don't know if people used to remember me being on there, right? And because you stare, you're in a studio. It ain't like even the studio I've got here. You understand where the camera is. You can see yourself. You can do different things. If you actually have 2 people on here, you both can see. You can swap things around and do all sorts of things, right? But at Russia Today, you're in the studio and you're staring at a spot. They never wanted to bring any of the Islamic people into the studio. They just went, no. We're going to put them in another part of London or in Manchester. We're keeping them away from you, right? But you can debate them, right? So I was debating them. This was hilarious, right? And they'd always try and shout me down and like the producer said to me, if you entertain that, the audience are not going to hear you, right? So very quickly, I learned you need to communicate to the audience in a different way when they're having a rant and trying to talk over you. So I always used to say to the producer at Russia Today, tell me on the screen, is he that way or that way? And they'd go, he's that way. And there used to be 2 of them telling me like that and watching it, right? And their phone lines used to light up. And I'd be going and using facial expressions. Like I'd go, what? And look at him and go, like looking at the person, right? And the audience used to be in hysterics because the other guy don't know that I'm doing that. So I'm still communicating my view on what he's saying without saying a word, right? Facial expressions are very human, right? Hand signals, right? So, if you've got some Islamist sitting there with a dress on and a beard and you're going, like, do you know what I mean? It's just the audience are like, we love this. He's just giving it to him, right? That's the point. Is communication. It's about reading people, right? Paul Falk, he can't read people. And when he started saying about, look at his face, talking about Dino Bain, I was laughing, right? Because he was attacking because it was winding him up, right? He was attacking his facial expressions because it is a communication method, right? And anyway, this I wouldn't say it was an interview. I don't know what I would call it was a good live stream. I'll tell you, I was at the set. I watched it all the way through. I was laughing. Vindicator was superb, right? Because I've said a couple of things to Vindicator, and that is don't lose it. Don't bite with trolls, right? It's obvious that we're having an impact on these people, right? And we're pulling the rug from them, right? Channels like Paul Fulp's have been promoted by YouTube. People like me taken out the game 3 times, right? So evidently Paul Morris has now done a video stating that, bearing in mind he's nearly 80, the geezer, right? and he's only got, I think, 5,000 subscribers, that Paul Thorpe has now withdrawn the copyright strike. He's made himself look, he's made himself, he's a sweetgrass, right? That's what we used to call people like you. You're a sweetgrass. Sweetgrass is someone, if let's say that they want to have a tear up with you and they see you outside the police station, right? And they start going, yeah, come on in, mate, and all that outside the nick. So they make enough noise that all the police are looking, and the cameras turn on you, right? And like when I was in London, there was a big demonstration, right? And there was a geezer, a trial, right, that turned up and was in my face, right? And there's all old Bill everywhere. I said, you're a sweetgrass. I said, come with me now. Right? My son was there. I said, come with me now. I said, I'll take you somewhere there's no cameras. It's one of the only places in London there's no cameras, right? And do you know what he did? He ran to the police, through the police lines and stood behind them. And I was going, what chance you got with a geezer like this, right? Anyway, cut a long story short, all I'm saying is keep it real. If you keep it real and you talk to people and use your own language, don't be frightened of all this nonsense. I mean, I walk in a pub and they said, how are you feeling today, Graham? I said, I'm feeling very gay, right? And they're like, you know what I mean? I said, listen, gay means happy. Don't let them change your language. Gay means happy, right? Racist means patriot, right? That's all it is. And then they start using these nasty words, and they think they're nasty words, like that, right? Listen, I sympathise with people that all of they're doing is protecting their own race and their own culture, just as I just showed you on there, right? What's happened to Londoners? We've been decimated, right? And it's about time someone stood up, right? So make sure you support Shane Wiskin. And if he ever wants me to stand on a stage in the East End of London, I will, right? And I will say you should be voting for this person as a member of Parliament or a councillor. Let me go and have a look. Don't forget Rupert Lowe. Let's go back to him. He has said a number of things, right? One of the things he has said is he never took the jab. He never would. He said that the people who initiated the coercion, and coercion is an important word in law, right, need to be prosecuted. He's already said that people who have died of the jab, right, or their families have had people die of the jab will be compensated. People who lost their jobs will be compensated. And they will be put back in the position that they was previous to that. In other words, as much as possible, they will be compensated. He's the only person that's talked about it in our terms, in common sense, right? He's just said, listen, I can see what went on there was an absolute liberty. The Conservative and Union Party, which is what these people, even if you're a unionist, you're supporting it, right? Meaning British, they pass through many corporations and money laundering. I don't care if Dubai gets hit by Iran, right? You know why? Because billions of our money was stolen from us and pumped into Dubai. We built Dubai, right? I know that. I've seen the evidence, right? And I just want to make sure everyone understands that. What's this one say? I have a fat day. I'm a bit like you, Graham. I'm originally from the southeast, now live in Devon, a number of decades in each. Oh, good. We're in Devon. Give us a hand, right? Because we want a restore candidate, restore England, restore Devon, to win, and we can win in Central Devon. We can win undoubtedly in North Devon. I have got absolute faith that people will vote and come out. And again, we've got some really clever people out there. So getting back to other things that he said, they said they haven't said they're going to deport all brown people and all black people. Right? That is absolute bullshit. That is absolute bullshit. What they've said though, if you're not a native of this country, or even if you're second generation, and you are receiving benefits, living in housing that wasn't made for you, right? And various other issues. If you commit a crime, you're gone, right? See, now people don't understand when I turn around and say, yeah, but people go to me, I've had these people call me a sivnat, right? You want all these people here. I said, hold up a minute, right? I'm the only person out there that says if a Scot commits a crime in England, he can fuck off back to Scotland and stay there. He ain't never coming back in England. And a Welshman and an Irishman, north or south, right? You get banned from the country if you commit an offence, a criminal offence in this country, right? And vice versa. Let's get this clear. So if I went up to Scotland and committed a criminal offence, I expect them never to let me back in, right? Guess what, people? They're white countries. So how's that in any form racist? It ain't, right? But evidently, I'm like, I don't know, the extreme of extremes. I'm not having a go at the Scots or the Irish, right? But if you work here, don't take the piss out of us, right? Ban, and I've seen this happen. It fucking happened to me, right? Where an Irishman running a site got rid of me because he didn't want an Englishman working on his site, and he was Irish, right? Things like that tend to give you the ump, right? And again, if you've got enough work in your own country, Southern Ireland is a republic. They disposed of their English constitution and all their rights. That wasn't the English. It wasn't the fault of the English. That was the Southern Irish, and now they're seeing the consequence of it. The Red Guard is at full work. The Garda are the Red Guard, right? They now live in an administrative law province of Rome. That's it. I'm not having a go. I'm just saying, like, you can't on one hand, blow up England, and there was many of them doing it, and you've only got to look at it. They didn't touch Scotland. They didn't touch Wales, right? It was mainly the English they attacked, right? That's all I'm saying to you. Let me have a look. Jelly Tot wasn't arguing. Restore England. Oh, that's a nice one you've got there. I like that. No Blair, no Brown, no Campbell. Happy days. I think they should all be tried for treason, to be honest with you. That's another thing he said. It is used on numerous occasions, Rupert Lowe, the word treason. I'm like, get in there, right? And again, if you had the right people counselling you that did actually know the laws of England and the Constitution of England, and you go back to some of our ancestors who said, listen, this is the problem, this is how you solve it. Sir William Wade, for example, said a really simple way of solving this problem in England is to change the judge's oath. Well, they changed the oath system for the Jews, right? By the way, that should be abolished. And you simply say your job as a judge is 100% to enforce the English Bill of Rights. Right, not the European Convention on Human Rights. They're what's known as qualifiable rights. That can all go. That's laughable, right? We had more protections, and we have more protections from the English Bill of Rights than anything else, right? And you cannot pardon. No, there is no plea for pardon that's accepted in this country by anyone, right? And those people, including Richard Inman, including Paul Thorpe, including Jeff Taylor and many others, right? And again, Paul Thorpe actually said that he could not support any law or any country that didn't allow Benjamin Navim Habib, right, a self-confessed and self-declared British Pakistani, to allow him to stand in Parliament. What the fuck, right? Well, even that statement on its own is treason, right? Because it's called subverting the English Constitution. Clement Attlee, a Fabian, right, brought in the British Nationality Act 1948. Scrap it, right? No, we should have no toleration whatsoever of dual nationality, even if it's an American. No toleration whatsoever of dual nationality. You're either English or you're not, right? And it's as simple as that. There's a huge queue for that lever. Let me have a quick look. So there's many other things that he did. Let's get back to Rupert Lowe. He has rightly said, and he is communicating with a massive, large group of people, that the speed limits on our motorways should increase to 70 mile an hour or above, right? Because the types of cars that are now, and lorries now using these roads can go at much higher speeds and are very safe, right? Their braking systems are safe, their engine systems are safe, their navigation systems are safer. But instead, we're going backwards with these people. But he also said he's going to completely scrap 20 mile an hour zones. I agree entirely. And you need to take out all the sleeping policemen as well, right? And people need to take responsibility for their own actions, right? If you drink and drive and call an accident and it's because you're pissed, if you kill someone, you'll go to prison for a very long time. None of this slap on the wrist stuff. You will go to prison for a very long time, right? And then people will be aware that you can't do that. We need, again, to have public houses. Listen, you open the boozer up and you say, you can smoke in my pub, right? If non-smokers don't like it, don't go in there. It's as simple as that, isn't it? If I open the boozer up tomorrow and we've abandoned all the smoking laws, right, I'll guarantee you it'll be mobbed, right? There's something else I'll do with pubs and all. It'll be proper mobbed. But there you go. So there was lots of other things that he's spoken about. Deportation of all, and again, he has actually used the word abolish. He would abolish the right to remain, right? I was so pleased when I see him use the word abolish or make void, because it means that anyone previously given that right to remain, that is ambitio or non-ambitio. It means it's never been good law, right? So therefore, it's completely abolished. They're gone, right? That means all the other people that have come here on the right to remain have to leave, are given no benefits, and they will voluntarily leave, right? He's also said, and again, there's a massive difference between repeal, and I've got the book here somewhere. It may be in the other book. I can't see it. But the major point is that it's already been spelled out in law what the difference between repeal and abolish, make void, right? It sounds difficult. It's not. It's simple, right? Once you know what the law is. If you're standing in front of a judge and explaining it and you use the case ab initio, well done, Jim H. Music, it means null and void. It was never law. You cannot have bad law in England. That's a crucial point that people have to remember. What else did he do? There's loads of things that he's done. He's basically said to everyone, he is considering, as far as I can see, implementing the Hong Kong tax system, which is a voluntary tax system. I've got a book about it here, right? I'm solely on that tax system. It's 200 pages instead of 11,000 pages. Most of the economists and accountants would be out of work, right? Good, right? And proper people would be able to go out and earn £1 note. You could earn somewhere in the region of £200,000 a year with all the allowance that you're given. So instead of being given a benefit of, I don't know, whatever it is now, someone will tell me what it is for a child, a benefit, right? A financial benefit. You will be given a tax allowance of £2,500 a year, right? So you would claim the tax. You would say, I've got one child, and then your tax allowances start to raise. So instead of not working, it is more beneficial to you to work. But they also bring in, you can look after your parents, you can look after your disabled children, you get tax allowances for educating your own, believe it or not, your own children. So if you're not going through state education, you get all these allowances. That means the local people that want to teach their kids themselves, instead of penalising them, and by the way, the state brainwash people, and children in particular, right? That's where Hitler Youth come from. They had the same thing in the communist countries. They brainwash people, and they brainwash children, right? That's why 20% of the old Soviet Union still call themselves Soviets. Only 20%, by the way. If you went to Russia, 80% of the people say, no, we're not Soviets, we're Russian. And that exact thing will happen again in this country. No one really called themselves British until they started pushing and promoting that after 1948. And don't forget, the last person to do that was the Commissar of Identity, which was Joseph Stalin, right? Just to making sure. Do you all understand? So there's lots of things that he's doing positive. He's supporting businesses. He's supporting pubs. I love supporting pubs. But you've got to have the money to support the pub, right? And what they're doing now is killing it. And again, the taxation, the local taxation, that's all going to have to stop, right? We need a way in which we turn around and say, not happening. We ain't paying you council tax when we pick the phone up to the police and we get a load of fucking idiots turning up with a load of funny stripes on them, all going, hello, how are you darling today? Oh, can I help you? Oh, them nasty criminals. But they don't even do that. They don't even turn up anymore, right? They don't investigate anything, right? And most of the police are creating their own fucking crimes because they're fucking crooks. You've seen the amount of old Bill that have been done for rape. It's unbelievable, right? And nonsense fucking kids. And they're getting away with it because they're allowing them people to come in. There are some good cops out there, few and far between. Yeah, I'm hearing you, Graham. There you go. So can we have a final push of sharing this video? 1. 2, and I want to make sure everyone gets this. Shane Wiskin, don't forget, everyone in East London and in the area of Canning Town and Poplar, I think it is. Plaistow, I've been advised. Right, Plaistow. Get out there and vote for him. If you can help him, and you've got any help in the East End, go and help him. Find him on X. And just even if you can help him delivering leaflets, if you can help him at any local and create a little thing, a community event where he can talk to you and get them people voting for him. If you are not registered to vote, don't do what these idiots are telling people, right? And not idiots, they are a conspiracy against England and the people of England. In particular, Jehovah's Witnesses tell you don't vote, right? And there's another person out there telling people not to vote because you're within their jurisdiction. Absolute rubbish. Go and read Ashby versus Wright, 1703, and it tells you that you have an absolute right to vote and no one can interfere with that. And what we've got is a bunch of Jehovah's in the background that are pushing this nonsense, right? Stop it. If you are a freeholder or you pay X amount of rent in that local area, you have an absolute right to vote, right? Unless you're a foreigner. As simple as that. So get out there and vote. Now you've got someone to vote for. There's no excuse whatsoever. Graham, all the good coppers have retired or quit. I don't disagree with that. There's a lot of retired coppers, but again, they're still taking the shilling in pensions, and they won't come out on our side because the Home Secretary can take their pension away. Right. That's it. I am going to say, final shout out to anyone. I'm not going to waffle all night. I'm just going to tell you, great chat tonight. Love to all. Constitution is the solution. It is. And don't forget, I don't know if D is watching, Deanne. The person that you try to get me in an interview and put me on that channel, she backed out of it for whatever reason. She didn't tell me. I drove all the way back and rushed back to you for that interview. And then she came out with some other excuses and just dropped it out. So you have to be very careful with some of these people. Daddy Dragon channel, I've sent you a funny song about Canning Town on WhatsApp. Be good. Let's have a look. Could be good to finish the show on. Let's have a look. Who has sent me that? Is that the song? Let me have a quick look. The real Lou. message. Hang on a minute. Graham, could you drop the angry bootneck a message, please, so he can get you on? Would make a good watch and help spread the word. I think a few people have contacted the angry bootneck. You'll have to tell me how I'll drop him a line. Graham Moore, thank you for the donations coming through. And let me see if I can and see what this one is. I'm not sure if that'll come up there. It says it needs. Oh, I know what it is. I'll have to try and play this. Let me put that back on there. What I have to be careful of, that means I have to unmute the tab, and I will see if I can play. Tell me if I don't know if you can hear this, but I'm going to play this. Let me. I'm going to play this for you. This song. Hopefully, you're going to be able to hear it, right? Let me see if I can put this on. Oh, bollocks. Right, you're not hearing it now. Right, let me see if I can. I'll need to find a way of bringing that up. How can I do that? I'll tell you what I'll do. I will forward that to myself because I have to be careful not to show anyone else's messages. So I'm going to forward it to myself and then bring up my message on there. Let me make sure that that's on there. I don't want any messages to be seen on there. Let me have a look. Let me see if I can see it. Hopefully. Right. I think I can do this, but I need to share the screen on there, and then you can tell me if you can hear this. Right, here we go.
I used to go to Rap Bone Market with Mom. We all are crab closing, but it felt like a real community care in Cannon Town. We'd go in a cadence to see the live eels wriggling. All the time we were giggling in Cannon Town. There were no banks open in Cannon Town, 'cause they always got robbed and they all got closed down. That's right, in Cannon Town. The pubs were great. You get an axe in your head, or a glass in your face, or maybe shot if you were lucky. In Cannon Town. But we had Murkoff's, the best ice cream in the land. Made all the madness worthwhile and grand. For a tub or a cornet, you'd stand in line. Murkoff's ice cream. Canning Town. People mostly down on a pound. The worst of education, the lowest expectation in Canning Town. Oh, but we had Merkel, the best ice cream around. Sweet relief in a hot old town. People came from miles just to try it. Oh, once they did, they couldn't deny it. Merkel's in Canning Town. Oh, we had pie and mash on a Saturday. And West Ham, who were mostly crap. But it was our team, and that's a fact in Canning Town. Most people ended in prison or on the ground. But we produced some of the best gangsters around in Canning Town. And we had Merkel's, the best ice cream in the world. Better than anywhere you've heard. All the trouble, the noise, the dream, we still had Merkel's ice cream in Canning Town. Canning Town. Canning Town. Yeah. Canning Town. Canning Town.
So there you go, people. Hopefully you can all finally see me. I was having a little jig in the background there. So there you go. Good night. God bless from everyone. Throw it out there to who to vote for. And again, I'm recommending that everyone join Restore Britain because it means restore England and restore the English Constitution for all the nations of the nation states. So I believe in a common law union, not a statutory union, and there is a difference, a big difference. You have a reset position, which is the English Constitution, protecting all your rights. We just have to re-educate the politicians. Great little tune. Right, that's it. Good night. God bless. Don't forget what I believe in. The Constitution is the solution. Come back tomorrow night if you like what you're hearing. That's it. Au revoir, tiddly poo, and all that.